guys, today I'm going to show you how I made this art piece that I'm putting into an art gallery for a show for love and passion. For this piece I wanted to show a different kind of love, a family love. I put some owls in a tree hollow. It's kind of abstract. In this art piece you'll see a lot of my junk journal techniques and materials and everything come into play, so I thought it would be fun to share it with you. I start off by taking out the pages that I might use in the future. Then I needed to cut the hole out of the front of the book, and to help myself out I removed the back part, and then I tried to do it just layer by layer so I didn't have to cut through the whole book piece with the X-Acto knife at once. So I just did the first layer, peeled it off, the next layer, peeled it off, the next layer, peeled it off. I went slow through all the layers. Eventually I was able to get my X-Acto knife all the way through, and then I was able to push the hole out. I'm changing my blade. A sharp blade is a safe blade. To make the tree hollow, I made circles, or blobs that were smaller and smaller so that it made kind of like a concave hole or hollow in the tree. This is similar to what I've done when I've made butterfly windows in journals, but this had way more layers. It was fun. I'm checking if my owls fit. You'll see me trim them later on. I glued the pages together. I just used some watered down Elmer's, but I kind of wish I had taken a little bit more time. Made sure that everything was lined up perfectly, because it did get a little bit funny at the end. So if I was able to take my time, or next time if I'm able to take my time, I'm gonna really use some better binder clips and keep it really close together, and then let it dry overnight before I move on to the next step. Then to make the outside bark part of the tree, I put craft paper. This is actually packing paper that I got in a package, and then I did tea bags that I put on top of that. The combination of the craft paper and the tea bags not only cover up the book, the part that I don't want to have showing in my art piece, but it also gives a nice texture and a nice color to the front. So I made these owls. I cut out just some pieces. I had some leftover cardstock. I cut out the shapes that I wanted for the owls, for the little baby owls, the owlets. I made sure that they fit into the hollow and they would be kind of peeking out. Here I'm cleaning some of the pages I don't want to show. I tried to get rid of any text showing. I used old book pages to put the base layer down on my owls. I thought it would be a good backdrop for the feathers. Regular decoupage techniques here. I folded the back layer over the front to give a nice finish around the edges, then covered the front and trimmed it. Then I made the owl eyes, which were they're the reason for the piece, is because I wanted to make these owl eyes. I couldn't find my 1-inch punch, which is so stupid, because as soon as I was finished cutting these out, I put my markers back away and it was right there, exactly where I looked for it a minute ago. Does that ever happen to you? I just drew a little bit of highlights, kind of like a reflection of the moon in the owl's eyes. One of the owls I wanted to make sleeping or with their eyes closed. The other three I just made different shades of yellow. I did one more of a peachy tan, one that's like a chartreuse, and one that was like a golden. That showed the different owls' personalities. To put the feathers on, I used more tea bags. I used green tea for the feathers around the eyes, and then I used black tea for the feathers around the body. And I drew out where I wanted all of that to be, and I utilized just, my pens and markers to do some of that, but I also used ink to make the feathers stand out. I put the owls in place. I see where they fit nicely into the book, where they could all be peeking out and they can all be seen from the front, but you could still see the hollow of the book because that's also part of the piece, so I didn't want to completely cover that up. The outside of the book, I painted just a little bit of blue with watercolor, and I still wanted it to appear brown, but I wanted it to look like it was more of a nighttime, midnight blue, so I colored it in like that. And then to make the kind of birchy, bark look to it, I just use washi tape. You could use a stencil here. I wish I had a stencil, as that would have been easier, but it's also nice that I'm able to show that you can just use washi tape to make the shape that you want to come out. I use a light blue ink to get some cool color. I use translucent texture paste. I added some iridescent dust from Solar Color Dust. If you haven't looked into Solar Color Dust, I'd recommend it. I mixed that in with the translucent texture paste, and then I haven't been able to find my palette knife in like decades, so I just use these little like plastic tags that you get from bread. Lay out the texture paste, and then I just removed the washi tape to reveal the pattern that I had. That was it. I really liked making this piece. I am excited to show it. I really like how it utilizes a lot of the junk journaling that I use, and I really like how you can take a lot of the things that you may have learned in this video and use it in journals if you want to just make the owls, or if you want to use like the bark technique with the texture paste. Like, those are really cool things. Or if you want to make a hollow into a book, that's really cool, because if you don't glue the pages down, you can still write in all of those pages, and it looks really neat. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe for more content like this. I'm going to be showing different ways that I make different art pieces in the future. I would love to see you back. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!